You've become a careless cleaner. There's dust in the corner. You're supposed to be a housewife, so you need to do better. If I see dust again, I'll sell your computer. As my work as a comic artist grew, my husband started to ignore me. When I had tight deadlines, he would bother me, get picky about chores, and sometimes even make me redo the cleaning. It feels like my husband wants me to be the perfect housewife, but being a comic artist has been my dream since I was a child. I don't want to give up on it. Also, I have a feeling my husband is hiding something from me. I don't think I can forgive him. I'm Emma, 31 years old. I'm a freelance comic artist. I create comics, and in between, I also take care of the house. My husband, Jack, is 35. We've been married for 6 years. When we got married, we agreed that I would be a full-time housewife. 2 years into our marriage, my parents passed away. I was their only child, so Jack and I moved into the house I inherited. I still didn't want to stop working on my comics, which I'd been doing since I was a student. I could have been a full-time housewife, but my dream is to support myself with my comics. Right now, I'm only doing lighthearted comics. Can I work from home? I asked Jack. He said, it's just a hobby, right? Fine, I guess it's okay. So I kept working on my comics even after we got married. 6 months ago, one of my comics got noticed by a magazine editor. It published it as a 2-page feature. After that, I started getting calls from other magazines and my schedule became packed with comic deadlines. But when I told Jack, he wasn't happy. You've been doing well lately, huh? You're just a stay-at-home wife. Your comics are for fun, right? And your pay is like a kid's allowance, isn't it? Why are you saying that, Jack? I know you don't read comics, but this has always been my dream. Yes, the job might not pay much yet, but I'm still getting paid. I'm a professional. You shouldn't talk down to me like that. When I defended myself, Jack got even more upset. How can you talk like that when I'm the one providing for us? If you have a problem, wait until you're earning more than me. I didn't know how to respond. I depended on him. My work didn't bring in much money, about $600 a month. Jack would only talk to me when I was busy with deadlines. You're being careless. There's dust in a corner. You're a housewife, so get it together. If I see dust again, I'll sell your computer. I knew he wasn't serious, but I was still scared. I ended up spending so much time cleaning that I missed my deadlines. Jack would get even more annoyed, so he started criticizing every little chore, which was frustrating. One night, Jack came home from work. He has a habit of eating dinner as soon as he gets home. That night, just like usual, he sat down, put some food in his mouth, and suddenly shouted from the kitchen. Hey, what is this? The radish isn't cooked properly. Are you serious? Is this what you give your husband after he comes home tired? I was still in a daze after meeting a deadline, but his yelling caught me off guard. I turned to Jack. Just then, Jack picked up his beer and spilled it all over me. My mind went blank. I never imagined someone would pour beer on me. It shocked me completely. Oh, I'm sorry. I must have spaced out while cooking. Everything else should be fine, so just leave out the radish. While cooking, I realized I'd forgotten to cook the radish, and in my rush, I just tossed it into the stew without boiling it. I made sure the potatoes were fine, but the radish completely slipped my mind. I don't usually make mistakes like this, and I felt really embarrassed. It seemed like Jack couldn't forgive me for the mistake either. It's awful that I have a wife who can't even do housework properly. I should never have married you. Jack got up from the table and headed for the bedroom. I quickly followed, but he went into the bedroom and packed a bag. Where are you going? I'm leaving until you apologize. What? I was so confused and didn't understand what he meant. Jack packed his bag and actually left the house. I ran after him, and when Jack reached the nearest station, he got into a cab and left. I called him several times, but he didn't answer. I even sent him an apology on WhatsApp, but he didn't even read it. I collapsed and started crying. That's when I felt a tap on my shoulder. I turned around, and it was Mr. Williams, Jack's boss. I used to work at the same company as Jack before we got married. Mr. Williams had been my boss too, and he had always supported my career when I first joined. Mr. Williams? I'm a section chief now, you know. It's been a while. Since your wedding, huh? Why are you crying? You smell like alcohol. Did you go drinking while wearing your apron? Oh, it's been a while. I'm so embarrassed to say this, but Jack and I had a fight. Oh, he can be a bit harsh sometimes, can't he? It's one thing if it's just work stuff, But when you're married and living together, that's when things can really get annoying. Mr. Williams smiled at me, and it reminded me of how many times his smile had helped me out when I made mistakes at work. We decided to go to a nearby restaurant to talk for a bit. So why were you crying? Are you the type to cry easily? Well, it's my fault. I messed up cooking today. I made stew, but only the radish wasn't cooked. That made Jack angry. Ah, I see. My wife is like that too. Sometimes things just happen. There's no need to get mad about it. It just drives us apart, you know. That's a good idea. So you didn't have a fight after going out for drinks? No, I was the one who ended up covered in alcohol because Jack spilled beer on me after he got mad about my cooking. I think it's dried now though. When I rushed to the station, I could still smell it on me. People told me I smelled like alcohol, but I couldn't really tell myself. He spilled beer on you just because of some cooking. There's something off with Jack, right? I always thought he was a bit of a jerk, but I can't believe he'd do that to his wife. That's unbelievable. Mr. Williams looked really upset, almost like he'd been the one spilled on. It made me feel a little better. So why did you go to the station? Did you come all the way here in your apron because of Jack? Yes, because Jack was acting weird. He called me a shabbing wife and said he was leaving the house until I felt sorry for myself. I followed him to the station, but he got into a cab and left. I didn't know what to say. Mr. Williams, who had been angry earlier, suddenly looked serious. After a moment of silence, he spoke. I can't say anything yet, but I have a bad feeling about this. I'm going to check into Jack too. He might have left something at home, so you should look around. I nodded, not fully understanding, but trusting him. We called it a day, and Mr. Williams drove me home. As Mr. Williams suggested, I checked the shelves Jack often used and went through his clothes. Inside the pocket of his pants, I found a hotel loyalty card. It had been used recently, and the card showed it had been used around noon on Saturday, when Jack had told me he was working on his day off. I was sure Jack was cheating on me. Then I remembered something I hadn't thought about in a long time. Before we got married, we had one of those moments where we lost our phones. We had joked about how it would be helpful to use each other's phone GPS to find each other. Jack had set up an app to track our phones, and I completely forgot about it. I opened the app, entered the password, and we found Jack's phone in a surprising location, a famous tourist spot, known for being a popular date spot. It was hard to believe he'd go there alone. I decided that Jack was likely on a trip with his secret partner. The next day, I called Mr. Williams at the company. Mr. Williams, thanks for yesterday. No problem. Did something happen? Did Jack not show up to work today? There was a pause, and after a deep sigh, Mr. Williams replied, yes, he requested 4 days of paid leave starting today. I knew it, I said. I hate to say it, but he's probably. I know, but now I feel better. Thanks. After hanging up, I made a decision. I had been thinking about it for a while. If Jack was cheating, I was going to do something about it. I called someone and explained everything. As soon as I told him about Jack, he immediately took my side. I hung up feeling relieved, sure that things would work out. The next day, I went with some people to the place the GPS had pointed to. It was inside a resort hotel near a popular tourist spot. Right now, it seemed Jack was outside the hotel, as the GPS showed him at a nearby beach. When Jack saw my face, he went pale. With a smile on my face, I pointed my phone at him and snapped a series of photos. I wanted to get a shot of him and the young woman standing next to him. She looked to be in her early 20s. By the way, 30 minutes earlier, Jack had been in a bikini with that girl. I even managed to take pictures of him rubbing sunscreen on her. I let them continue until I had enough evidence that Jack was cheating on me. The two of them were so carefree, maybe even out of their minds, because they were kissing in public. By that point, I wasn't shocked at all. It was like I'd already had enough of the situation. In fact, I was kind of grateful to them for giving me solid proof. Jack was clearly surprised, and his pale face wasn't just from seeing me. Behind me were my in-laws, both of them glaring at Jack. What's going on here, Jack? I walked up to him with a smile, and either he panicked or he tripped in the sand and fell on his backside. My mother-in-law sighed when she saw this. Jack, you're pathetic. Who is this girl? What are you doing, leaving your wife alone? Jack quickly tried to defend himself. She doesn't do any housework. He was flustered, pointing a finger at me as he accused me. Oh really? That's not true. Even if she didn't clean sometimes, she still did laundry, cooking, and dishes every day. Mom helps clean sometimes too. I don't like doing laundry either, and sometimes I leave it to Dad. That's because you work part-time, right? She doesn't. She's just a housewife who draws and messes around. So why can't she at least handle the housework? Jack's words made my father-in-law furious. You don't get it at all. Even people around us were starting to stare. Some were even recording with their phones. I suggested, why don't we go somewhere more private to discuss this? Everyone agreed, so my in-laws and I went to a nearby restaurant first. Jack and his girlfriend changed out of their swimsuits into regular clothes, and then the five of us sat down to talk. We started by hearing Jack's side of the story. I wanted Emma to be a full-time housewife, but she started this silly hobby of drawing comics and ignored her housework. I told her over and over, but she just wouldn't listen to me. So it's only natural that I start looking for someone else, right? Mitch, the girl Jack had been seeing, spoke up, countering him. What? Isn't that different from what you told me? You had a stalker at your house, and you were troubled, so you asked me to help you forget about it for a while. When I suggested you call the police, you said it was only a matter of time before they caught him. If you were married, you shouldn't have dated me in the first place. Mitch started crying after saying that. Apparently, she was still in college and met Jack on a dating app. She told me she was attracted to older men, but now regretted getting involved with him. I'm sorry, I'll never contact Jack again. I've learned my lesson, and I won't let myself be fooled next time, she said, bowing deeply to me and my parents. She showed us her phone where she deleted Jack's number, then left money on the table before walking away. I glared at Jack, who looked panicked by Mitch's sudden exit. It makes sense that I wouldn't do everything you ask, right? I have feelings and a life too. I'm not your robot to control. It's disgusting that you cheated on me just because things didn't go your way. Jack opened his mouth to speak, but my father stepped in. You don't seem to get it, do you? I'm the one who worked to support Emma, so she should respect me, right? Dad calmly addressed Jack, whose anger was visibly rising. You're acting like a child. You're just throwing a tantrum because things aren't going your way. You need to respect Emma's choices. There's nothing else to say. Dad stood up and paid the bill, leaving the restaurant with my parents. Jack and I were left alone. I had nothing left to say. Jack, I got a series published in a comic magazine. Jack stared at me with a worried expression. Congratulations. Music. I can't be the housewife you want anymore. I'm sorry. I'm tired of being with you. I want a divorce. I'm sorry. You can keep drawing comics and I'll help with the housework. I won't complain anymore. Jack pleaded, tears in his eyes, but I couldn't look at him anymore. I didn't want to see this pathetic man who had once been my husband. I'm sorry, but it's not about that anymore. You looked down on me, didn't you? I thought we were equals, but you didn't see it that way. You thought you were in a better position just because you worked to support me. No, you were right. I've changed my mind. I promise I won't make things hard for you anymore. Please don't leave me. I've decided to sell the house we lived in. I have a relative who runs a real estate agency and he agreed to buy it right away. There are still some formalities to complete, but it'll be sold soon. I know I'll get less for it than if I used an agent, but it's my house and I can do what I want with it. I want to cut ties with you as soon as possible. I'm leaving tomorrow and I want you to leave that house as soon as you can. With that, I stood up and walked toward the exit. It was the opposite of the day Jack left the house. Now it was him chasing after me desperately, as if trying to stop me. But when I got into the car, my parents had already arrived. My dad, sitting in the driver's seat, started the car as soon as I slammed the door shut. Jack ran after the car, crying, but I couldn't see him anymore. It seems like he didn't believe anything I said, because when he came back from his trip, he saw that all my things were gone. He called me, crying. I answered the phone as a final act of mercy. Why did you sell the house? It's ours, right? Funny thing to say, isn't it? I inherited this house from my parents. Even then, I have the right to it. You have no claim to my inheritance. If you understand that, then get out of my house and ask for an amicable divorce. You'll hear from my lawyer, so don't run away. I said everything I needed to say and hung up the phone. After that, Jack was scolded by Mr. Smith for using his paid time off to go on a trip with his mistress. I heard that he didn't technically need a reason for taking time off, but the fact that he cheated on me and went golfing was something his boss severely questioned. Jack was now facing cold stares from his colleagues at work and living an uncomfortable life. My parents also gave up on him. Jack tried to go back to his parents' house, but they turned him away. He lost money due to alimony payments, sank into debt, and was living alone in a cheap apartment, unable to manage any housework. Later, Mr. Smith told me about it, but I didn't feel anything. As for me, I moved into a beautiful one-room apartment and am busy working on a plot for my comic series. I'm researching various omnibus works as references. The next story I'm planning to draw is about a husband's infidelity, and I'm thinking of using Jack as inspiration.